Bermuda preparing to shut down as Category 3 Hurricane Humberto threatens. And in sport, 4 Jamaican footballers struck by lightning during a Manning Cup match. I'm Ricardo Roberts and this is Caribbean Intent for Wednesday, September 18th, 2019. I'll be back with the details after the break.
We're here because you were involved recently and got a rather large verdict against the largest and most successful helmet manufacturer, Liddell. $11 million verdict, 11.1.
11.5.
11.5. And it was a very unique case.
You know, I've done a lot of cases over the years. I've represented a lot of people that have really been hurt. And in my opinion, Rhett suffered the worst injury that anybody had ever seen.
Living in Southern California, one's exposed to the benefits and luxuries which come with having achieved great wealth. It's not unusual to see a new Rolls Royce pull into the valet parking row of a restaurant, or a 200-mile-per-hour capable Ferrari crawling along in 5-mile-per-hour traffic on the 405 freeway. You drive through certain neighborhoods revealing lavish mansions, and a pop over to Rodeo Drive is a museum of wealth on full display. I have never even felt a twinge of envy for these people who have achieved enormous success.
Bermuda is shutting down as residents brace for Hurricane Humberto, which is now a Category 3 storm. Government offices and schools closed down at noon today. Several flights to the island have been cancelled, but it was not immediately known if the Bermuda International Airport would be closed. Humberto's outer rain bands have already started affecting the island, and the director of the Bermuda Weather Service says there is a possibility of tornadoes.
Humberto is a big hurricane. We're looking at the conditions already deteriorating. We had some heavy showers, thundery showers this morning with some squally winds, and we're expecting those conditions, particularly the wind conditions now, to start deteriorating, those winds to increase tropical storm force. And we're expecting into this evening those winds to reach storm force and potentially hurricane force as well, particularly if you're in an exposed part of the island or a higher elevated part of the island as well. So some very strong winds kicking in, particularly later this afternoon into this evening. We're then expecting overnight those conditions to gradually ease as the system moves away to our northeast.
At 11 a.m., Hurricane Humberto was located about 195 miles west of the island and moving towards the east-northeast at 16 miles per hour with maximum sustained winds reaching 120 miles per hour. It is expected to remain a major hurricane through early Thursday. According to the National Hurricane Center in Miami, the core of Humberto is expected to pass just to the northwest and north of the island tonight. The Bermuda Weather Service has forecast that its closest point to the island will be 101 miles to the northwest at 8 p.m., but it said it could move closer to the island. Only 21 hurricanes have passed within 100 miles of Bermuda over the past century, with Hurricane Gonzalo in 2014 the last to make landfall there. Meantime, the 10th tropical storm of the Atlantic hurricane season formed this morning, and forecasters say by the time it nears the Leeward Islands in the next day or two, it should be a hurricane. Tropical storm Jerry is located about 855 miles east of the Leeward Islands and moving towards the west-northwest at 14 miles per hour. Maximum sustained winds are at 50 miles per hour. An additional strengthening is forecast, with Jerry expected to become a hurricane by late tomorrow. On the forecast track, Jerry will be near the northern Leeward Islands Friday and pass north of Puerto Rico on Saturday. The National Hurricane Center in Miami says although it's too soon to determine its direct impacts to the islands, interests in the northern Leeward Islands should ensure they have their hurricane plans in place and monitor the progress of this system. It said watches could be issued for a portion of the area this afternoon or this evening. In other news now, the Guyana Elections Commission, GECOM, is hoping that by the end of today it can inform President David Granger of a timeline for polls that have been mandated by the Caribbean Court of Justice. The commissioners met for 4 hours yesterday, but were unable to reach consensus on merging data from the recent house-to-house registration with that of the National Register of Registrants to create a final voters list. They'll meet again today. More in this newsroom report by BB Katoon.
Government-nominated Commissioner Vincent Alexander is hopeful that after Wednesday's meeting, the Commission will be able to inform the President of a date for the holding of elections.
We are hoping by tomorrow to be able to finalize the election work program and to be able to communicate to the President our prospective time.
Do you think that may fall within this year or may spill over into next year?
It may spill over into next year.
It will?
It may spill over into next year.
While the government-nominated commissioner is not hopeful that the elections will be held this year, opposition-nominated Commissioner Stace Gunraj told the media that he is prepared to make a suggestion which will lead to the holding of elections this year if it is accepted.
We can go to our claims and objections period, start, if we make a decision today, starting Monday, and start moving this process forward. Unfortunately, all of this discussion and delay is being occasioned by discussion on merging.
Wednesday, September 18th will be the date by which the opposition People's Progressive Party wants elections to be held. The date is 3 months from June 18th, when the Caribbean Court of Justice validated the December 21st no-confidence motion, which the opposition said set in motion the 3 months timeline for the holding of elections in accordance with the Constitution of Guyana.
And stay with us, your Midday Sport is next. Four Jamaican footballers had to be rushed to hospital after being struck by lightning during a Manning Cup fixture between Jamaica College and Wilmer's boys. TVJ's Spencer Darlington has the details.
And Wilmer's boys at the Stadium East had to be called off due to the inclement weather on Monday. TVJ Sports understands that a total of 4 players, 2 from either side, were affected by the lightning strike, which forced the abortion of the game in the 84th minute. JC's coach Davian Ferguson says he's only concerned about the recovery of the players who were affected.
My mind is not necessarily on the game now. My mind is actually with the youngster who is at the UC now, and I pray and hope that he's well. It's a sad feeling. Personally, I've never been a part of anything like this before. I've actually heard about it, but actually seeing it, it was a little bit touching. And I just hope that the youngsters are indeed okay.
Wilmers had come from behind and were leading JC 2-1 when the incident occurred.
And the netball, Trinidadian star Samantha Wallace emerged with player of the match honors as underdogs New South Wales Swifts upset 2-time reigning champions Sunshine Coast Lightning to win the Suncor Super Netball League title. In the grand final stage in Brisbane Entertainment Centre on Sunday, the 25-year-old Wallace scored 40 goals from 44 attempts, a performance which propelled Swifts to a dominant 64-47 victory. That's Caribbean in 10. Join us again at 6:30 for Caribbean Newsline. Good afternoon.